Ladies and gentlemen, the Adult Baby Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Adult Babies Podcast, episode 180. I am B.
I'm Chick.
And we got a real special guest in the house, comedian Purpura.
Hey, everybody.
How are you, buddy?
Good. How are you? Thanks.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We are glad to have you. Now, how do you pronounce that last name?
Purpura.
Purpura. And how do you spell it if you don't?
Purpura.
I would have never spelled it that way, but when you spell it that way, you get what it sounds like it's spelled.
How would you have spelled it?
When he first said it, I probably would have did like a P-E-R.
Purpur.
Yeah, like I wouldn't have done P-U. I would like a pur, like P-U-R.
Okay.
I just would have probably, my initial thought was P-E-R.
Okay, yeah. P-U. All right. So, yeah, how you doing, buddy? We did a show the other night, and then we were talking about the podcast, and I was like, I got to get Will on. I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, before comedy.
Right.
So yeah, you used to drive a yellow cab. Do they call
You
them
answered
yellow
my
cab?
question already, and I'm thrilled because I am so anti-Uber and the whole thing, and I am so pro-yellow cab that I feel bad for the industry because it's a dying breed.
That's interesting. Yeah. I was driving around the time Uber wasn't even out, I don't think.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't around.
It wasn't even a threat.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a thought.
It wasn't even a
that
thought.
people were just going to start doing it themselves.
Yeah, we're just gonna drive
like
in this
if I'm
guy's
not
vehicle.
out tonight, I'm just going to pick people up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I started 2009.
2009.
Yeah.
And it was this area?
It was this area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got to know you because I lived in a house we used to call Paul Palace with a couple of my friends, and we would go out to the bars a lot of nights, most nights.
Yes.
And we got to know the cab drivers.
Well, yeah, I mean, I remember there was one crazy old guy. That's
Yes.
the only cab driver I remember. But I'm not like a drinker, so I was always a guy.
You
who
were-
people
you were
didn't
like
want to
the-
pay the cab, they would call me.
Yeah.
So a select few people got me for the night.
Right.
Free.
So you were a cab driver as well.
I
in
was.
a
I
way.
just didn't make money off of it.
Yeah. So we used to call the cab all the time, and a lot of times you were the driver.
Yeah.
And we got to know you through that.
Yes.
Because you were like our age, and you were just you were like a fun guy, and then I remember seeing you. Do you remember the first time I saw you with stand up?
Yeah, at Broadway.
Broadway.
Yeah.
Broadway Comedy
Yeah.
Club.
Wow, he actually remembers you.
Yep.
Yes.
He's not don't take this to heart. I don't like you're not a guy who sticks out to me. But I know you.
What are you talking about?
Because I do think you're funny, and I do. I genuinely think.
This
like
was
your
not
comedy.
even on stage.
Oh,
you
all
idiot.
right, I'm sorry.
We're both open micers.
I thought it was like he remembered your first time he saw you on stage. I'm
No,
like, you're
you-
not memorable like that.
No, you
You
dummy.
remember someone like Richard Pryor, not B.
He's so dumb. I swear to God. No, we were there at the Broadway Comedy Club for an open mic.
Yeah.
And we weren't even on stage. And he's like Paul Palace.
Paul, he knows your address.
So that's what it was. I don't even think you knew my name. You were like, you just knew my address, or maybe you did know my name.
I think I might have.
Yeah, maybe we were.
Yeah.
we were buddies at that point.
Yeah, and I knew you did comedy because you were mentioning it. You were just starting.
Probably mentioning it a lot.
Yes.
Because when you first start, you just want to tell everybody.
Right.
Now I don't tell. I'm like, you start telling
what
people.
do you do? I just deliver meats.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. So yeah, I saw you there, and I didn't even know that you were doing comedy at that point. From what I remember, you kind of you didn't even tell me, or did you stop doing the cab at that? I forget the timeline.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if I was still doing the cab at that time. I might have been doing it part-time on the weekends, like
Okay.
doing just dispatching. But I do remember seeing you, and I remember I didn't want to say that I was trying to do stand-up because I wanted to do it for a long time. I don't think I even mentioned it to you. And then I remember seeing you go into the open mic, and I was like, well, should I go to this open mic now? Because if I bomb, you'll tell the rest of the Paul Palace characters, and I'll be the talk of Paul Palace.
Wow.
That would have bombed in front of you.
You know, I saw a cab driver, and he sucks at comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
Not only does he not
Yeah.
get us to the place on time, he can't land a joke. His timing is awful.
Yeah.
No, but and you were.
Yeah.
I don't remember your set that night, but I know you from now. You're like hilarious. You're a hilarious comic.
Thank you.
You would like Will. I think you would
Nice.
like his style.
I am curious because I don't know. Like when I said someone, I always try and think like what type of comedy is he? And like, I wouldn't be able to. I'd be shocked no matter what like came out of your mouth.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like you could look at someone and be like, what type of comedy am I going to hear?
Right.
I don't have a gauge with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a gauge with you.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. A little like Jeff Dunham and
Okay.
Yeah.
people like Carrot Top.
He's got puppets.
Carrot Top.
They
He's
do puppets
ripped.
and parrot. Yeah.
There's a lot of things happening.
Yeah.
So you started. When did you start doing comedy?
I think I started 2015.
2015.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like a couple years after them. I was like,
Yeah.
just starting around that time too.
I get right. Yeah, I think we started picking you up like around 2012, 2013, like around there or something like that. Yeah, you were, by the way, one of the most popular stops.
Oh yeah.
All the cab drivers like to pick up the
Is
people
it because they know
over
there's not going to be issues there and it's like a fun group?
zero issues, fun group, and you were good tippers.
Oh,
and
that's good.
that was the talk around
That was the talk.
stand. Yeah.
He feels his insecurity with tips.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't want you to think badly of him, so he overdoes everything.
I've been out with people that I think under tip, and
You
listen,
overcompensate.
and I overcompensate, and I'm no I'm no billionaire here.
I feel that people who don't have money tend, and I could be completely wrong, tend to tip better.
I've got that a lot in like
Well,
places.
not everybody.
Not
but
everybody,
some.
but a lot of places that I would deliver to, like the middle to lower
That,
class.
I remember doing deli work, and I remember that too.
Yeah, the rich people. They just expect it.
The rich people will give you a percentage because everything to them is math. Like, so they'll never
Sometimes.
give you like. To me, $5 is the tip when you get delivery or like that's the tip, and if it's huge, you go more.
Right.
Like generally speaking, you get an order, you give them $5.
Yeah.
The people who give you like. The worst is when you get change and it's like $3 and they're like, okay, can I have my change? And you're like, what the fuck are you gonna tip me?
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I don't know. You're right. He's absolutely right, though. Like I brush him off a lot of times, but he's right. Just because I was more focused on you.
I know, I'm sorry.
But he's right. What I was saying, like a lot of the big rich places, they think that that's what you do, and they don't tip. But some of them do tip, and they'll tip tremendous.
Yes.
So
You get the one who's like flaunts it.
Yeah, yeah. But that's good to know. That makes me feel good about myself and my friends. And I always remember every time we went there, all you guys knew us. You knew us by name, by Paul Palace. It was a good. That was a fun time in my life. And then they all got married, and now I'm here.
Now it's Main Street.
Yeah, now it's just here. Now I don't need to do anything. But so you did the cab, and then you started doing comedy here.
Yeah.
And then what happened? What the improv thing? Because you were doing improv as well, right?
Right. I started both around the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know what drove me to do that. I thought I don't know. I think like I always wanted to do comedy, and then I was like, well, let's just go all in and do everything that's available. And I did improv and stand up around the same time. I started.
I thought they kind of go hand in hand
Yeah.
in the sense that most
Some
people who
people
do
do,
comedy,
yeah.
a lot of people will take an improv class.
I did improv before
comedy.
I did comedy.
But that's what I
Stand-up.
thought. It
Yeah.
was like I almost thought improv was almost an entry way to get into comedy. Not that you had to, but it helps.
I think it does. I think it made me more comfortable on stage.
Well, I think it helps you on stage, and not that everybody does crowd work, but it gives you the ability to think on your feet when you're on stage if something happens.
Yeah.
And you have to you have to comment on it.
Right. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a good muscle, like to
Yeah.
get going. I was doing stuff at UCB. You were at the Pit, right?
I did both. I
Okay.
did all the pit stuff, and then I went through the UCB curriculum too.
All right.
Yeah.
And-
when did you do UCB?
I would say 2012, 13
Yeah.
time. Maybe 14. I did like the writing, and then I went up to level 3 with improv.
Oh, okay.
And then at level 3, I had Anthony Atamanek.
Look at your hands.
Sorry, I had Anthony Atamanek was my teacher, who ended up like having like a successful career. He was on the President Show.
Oh, great.
Like he was really a funny guy, and he was like an interesting teacher.
Nice.
But I remember doing a show at the old UCB theater on 26th, and I bombed so bad. Like I was improving that I was the wind, and it was the last. He took me out into like into the bowels of the UCB theater, and was like screaming at me about how nobody knew what I was doing out there.
Whoa!
And it was a student showcase, so like I was like, oh, this is just getting a little too much.
Wow,
and
I was
like,
so weird.
It was crazy, but he was like a super nice guy and fun. And some classes were just he would talk about like prostitutes' right to be a prostitute. Like he had like all these interesting ideas. They should. I agree.
Yeah,
it's their body, their choice. But like he had a lot of the class was just like he was just a nut. But like. And then a couple years later, he's on television on comedy. He had his own show, but it was weird, man. And then it was around that time I switched over to comedy full time, and I was like, I think I'm gonna focus more on this. What was your thing? So you did classes UCB and the Pit, both improv. Do you know what those are, by the way, Chick?
Those places?
Yeah,
I'm assuming they're improv. Like learning
improv.
center or whatever. Improv learning like centers.
Yeah. So they put on classes, I guess, and then they have like the team house, the house shows. Is that did you do that?
I was on the house team at the Pit for a couple of seasons.
Nice. In New York.
Yes.
And then you moved to
North Carolina.
Yeah. So
Everybody goes to Carolina. Why
is that
come
true?
Back?
Oh,
well, I feel like Carolina's turning into the new Florida. Everybody used to move when they went down south. It was to Florida. Now everyone's like, "Fuck Florida." I can go a little close. Like North Carolina's beautiful.
Yeah.
Carolina is great. Yeah.
It really is.
What's that story about?
Yeah. So there was an improv theater there that closed, and the person I was working for, he's from North Carolina, so they opened up a pit down there, and I volunteered to go down.
Really?
Yeah.
So the one in Manhattan closed?
No. Well, no, that's still going on. There was like another improv theater that was around there, and so like because the person I was working for went to that college that was like right down the block, so he knew the area, so there was some sort of connection there, and I volunteered to go down.
Yeah. All right.
That's a much better way to go somewhere is when you're going with the job.
Yeah, I didn't know I'd be.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah, it was a very fun experience, interesting, and you got to see what it would be like to open a theater and like be around there for the ground up. So it was
that's great.
It was like like not very well attended at the beginning, and then by the end, it was like a lot of people going there on the weekends. And
so
stuff.
You were there from the beginning.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you just moved down there? What? Like
Yeah.
I'm afraid to do
either.
that. That takes a lot of balls, man.
I'm a little bit of a nomad in that sense.
Yeah,
like,
you are.
I do.
You would tell me some other stuff. Maybe we'll get into later about how you're living your life these days.
My biggest thing is not that I couldn't move to a new area and find my way. Is more that I just couldn't leave
New York
behind. Not the state.
Is it the family?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the state.
Yeah.
As much as I love New York and I wouldn't want to leave per se, I would if an opportunity arose. Like if an opportunity was there, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, New York, never gonna leave."
Yeah,
it's the family that really keeps me here.
The family kind of holds me.
They hold me down.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he lives with his family. I don't. It would be a big.
Oh, at this point, I need them. But in generally speaking,
can you imagine if you finally moved out of your parents' house and just left the state?
I just left the state. It would be shock.
Yeah, totally.
Shock and awe.
Yeah. They would have to drop you off.
It would be even worse. Would be the plummet back down if I fell.
Forget it.
Having to move back to state.
It'd be terrible.
Tom, you're back in New York? Oh, where'd you move back? With the parents.
Yeah.
In New York.
Where else would it be? But that's fine.
It's going to be in New York. They come with New York.
Yeah. So that's awesome, man. You were down at the Pit for how many years were you down there?
Like 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
So you really you got entrenched in that scene over there.
Yeah.
And were you doing stand up too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The Triangle comedy scene, which is like Chapel Hill, Durham, Raleigh, that's where Good Nights is, and a bunch of other places, is a great scene. there's a lot of really funny people, and there's a lot of great shows. And I'm actually going back there next month for the North Carolina Comedy Festival.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that.
Now
Yeah,
got
are
your
you
foot
going
in
to
the
that?
ground somewhere else? That's awesome. Now you're like dual state. It's like dual citizenship.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
all my great friends are there, and like
That's great. I didn't sign up. I didn't submit to the North Carolina one.
Oh, okay.
I think I might have last year, and I got denied.
You should.
Oh,
do
okay.
It.
You should do it.
Yeah. I'll do it. I'll next year.
I have people I would like to see in Carolina. So if you go, let's turn this. When is it?
It's this is in September, but they do it every year.
They do it every year.
and it's a great festival.
All right.
That's
That-
a good
yeah.
a place that if you ever did go to do comedy, I would 100% be. And that's a feasible place for me to go.
All right. I'm going to Tennessee in November. If you want to make that trek with me.
Is it a weekend or a week?
A week.
That's
Oh.
gonna be tough.
What are you
We'll see.
going for?
I'm doing. I got a couple shows for. I got a Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday out there. It's in
Excellent.
Chattanooga.
Oh,
I heard
I'd
Chattanooga's
love to.
amazing.
Yeah, I'm hearing that. So like the scene out there is
Yeah.
and North Carolina, Chattanooga.
How different is Chattanooga, you think, than Nashville?
I don't know, but
Is Nashville strictly like a music scene, like a?
I think they have a good comedy scene because there's
Oh,
there's
really?
That's what I've heard.
there's a guy named Joey Goodsong.
I feel like any entertainment area is probably gonna have good comedy.
Yeah. There's a guy named Joey Goodsong, believe it or not. I don't know if that. Do you know Joey?
No.
Yeah, he moved to Nashville, and he's talking. He found himself right into the scene over there. So he's in the whole Nashville comedy scene. So
Do you think those scenes are not better but easier to get into than say in New York because it's so big and you have like a Long Island and
I don't know.
Do you think they're like more tight knit? Like everyone knows that, like the comics all know it, like, or is that?
I think that's the case in a lot of, even in the city, it's like by sections. It's like there's a whole Brooklyn scene. There's a,
Okay,
there's
I
a-
got you.
Long Island is its own thing.
Yeah.
It's-
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I think comedy. It's like it's all these tight knit groups, like all over the place. You know, it's not just like New York.
they should do like battles, like team battles, like
Oh.
shows where, and not like a battle where it's a roast. But
yeah.
like you five comics from this, like whatever's your home comic. Like for you, you could use the Alibi just for argument's sake, and you know go against the team from the Comedy Store.
like producers. Like I would maybe like, because there's so many producers these
yeah,
days.
and then you and they each come up with an act, like just their regular comic. Like it's not nothing against the grain, like just your regular, set.
And how do you win?
You have judges.
Judges. yeah.
Judges.
Yeah, I feel like they've done stuff like that. There was a place in Queens that used to do like representing Long Island, representing Brooklyn.
Yeah,
There
almost
was
something like that.
Something like
and
that.
you could
And I don't
almost
think it was a roast
bracket,
battle.
like I think it could be very big.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I don't have
Listen,
any
you should get
idea
into
about
the producing game. God knows we need more.
it. Well, yeah, I was gonna say every comic is a producer.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like one and the same.
You could be one of those fun producers that doesn't do comedy, but just
Do people hate the producers who don't do comedy? Are they like frowned upon?
No, I don't care. Anybody that wants to book me, I don't
I
frown.
wasn't sure. Like
There's the lunatics out there, though. There's nuts.
I
It
just
does
think
help.
I just feel like all competition breeds better material.
What do you mean, competition?
In general, generally speaking, like if you know I have to, like whatever, you're part of, and like I know I have to be better than these guys. I just feel like one, it gives you more of a reason to write more. Like I just feel like competition.
I
in
see what you're saying.
I think it breeds
I don't think there's a
production.
I don't feel like there's too much of a competition though with like the different.
But I don't think it
producers.
has to be. But I just think I think the comedy that would come out of it would be hysterical.
I
Or
think
maybe I'm completely off.
I don't know.
I don't know. Like
What do you
I'm
think?
not in the scene as much as you guys.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that there's much of a competition thing.
I know
going
there's
on.
that, but that's the whole point of what I'm
But
saying.
there is there's
It's all self competition.
yeah, but that's with a lot of people. I'm sure like.
It's easy to give up on yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I want to be the best comic in the room every time.
But don't you feel like if you had to go on stage and not be the worst, like because this guy's he's gonna vote you, like you know what I'm saying? There was a
Yeah.
judge, you would be more prone to sit down and really write as opposed to it. I'll go out drinking tonight.
Well, I think some places, like in North Carolina, they had 2 competitions that was like the funniest in North Carolina. And there was like a bracket system, and it was just like everybody against each other. And then like through audience vote and through judges, there would be a winner. And if you won, that's like a good notch on your
That's a
resume.
big-
and
yeah.
you'd win like $1,000 or whatever
See,
it was.
that's nice.
So, I mean, I think those things are kind of fun in a way. I mean, like they
They don't get, I
definitely
guess if they get saturated though, it's like just
Yeah,
another
it's like
competition.
anything. I mean, competition can be good or it could be bad. And
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, we have the Long Island Laugh Fest is we have a couple of friends that are in the finals. So that's
I actually did see that on a couple of their pages.
Yeah. So our good friend Andrew Bergen's in the finals. I think we mentioned that last week or 2 weeks ago. So yeah, I mean it could be good. It definitely you definitely just want to do well any way you can, I guess. But yeah, you did that. You come back here, and now you're strictly out here. What's your plan?
Yeah.
What is Will's plan now? What are you up to?
That is a good question. I don't really have a firm grasp on what the plan is, but I know I like traveling and I know I like doing stand-up, so I want to kind of do both of those things. I'm just kind of like not making any firm decision. I don't really know what's going on in the world.
You playing it by ear, right?
Yeah, I'm playing it by ear.
That's
but
a safe way to
I
do
do
it.
know I like stand-up a lot, so I know that if I follow that, that's probably the good thing to
I think you
follow.
should.
Yeah, that's the
Is
thing I get the most
self-touring something that
energy.
you think about?
Yeah, maybe something like that. I think that would be. I like I'm going back to North Carolina in September, and it's like I would like to go back there a bunch. I would like to go see other places. I like living on the road.
Two
I like
birds with two with one stone. man.
exactly.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're working,
So-
but seeing the country. Like,
It's great.
Everybody always wants to travel outside the country, but we never really travel
Inside
within the country.
is
And, when,
amazing.
and you
Yes.
could, if you could tour the states and do comedy everywhere, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And it's
I agree. Now you had
broadens
mentioned
your comedy.
Yeah.
you had mentioned to me that you sometimes you travel
Yeah.
and you decide I'm not going to get a hotel room. I'm just going
Right.
to sleep in the car.
Yeah. I'll sleep in the car.
Yeah. So you can find a way to live out of a car is what.
Yes. And I've been doing that for the past month or so.
Okay.
So even here, you're living out of the
yeah,
car.
even
And I'm not
here.
judging because
No.
I should be living out of my car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I mean, like, I don't know. I find a way to, I have the Planet Fitness membership. I go to libraries to work, and I just kind of figure it out. I do like that kind of lifestyle.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't either.
I was talking to you the other night. Like, there's like that whole van life thing has become a thing. You
Yes.
Do you have a van, or are you doing
No,
this?
know? No, it's not a van.
So that's the dream, is to get a van. If the dream is a van.
I could see
Yeah.
you having like a Cody style van from what was that show back in the 90s?
Step by step.
Step by step.
Oh, yeah.
Cody had
Yes.
the van outside.
Yeah.
Yes. You definitely follow your dreams.
Yeah.
The van is the pinnacle of.
Yeah. Right now, it's just a sedan type car with So
what like first of all, when did you decide I'm gonna go in the car? I'm gonna live in the sedan.
Well, I guess it was like when everything was shut down. I didn't go anywhere or do anything, and I was like, man, that would have been a good time to do that.
Yeah.
And I don't
But
know
it's
why
also
I
hard
didn't do
during
it.
that time. Like
Well-
everything you would want to do, I feel like was shut down.
I was able to. I had remote work. I was able to work remote or not, and because I was laid off in the beginning, so I had unemployment. But then I found work, and then I got laid off again because I was doing contact tracing. So and then there's no need for it.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll pick it up again. I don't know, but
might be picking up
Might-
again
Just
soon.
cheering for the variant. Let's go.
And then I was like, wow, I never got to do that. And then I was like, well, let me do it now. So I've been going to more places than I've ever been in my life. I've just before I came back here, I was in Vermont and Massachusetts and Connecticut, so I did that
See,
little
good for you,
thing.
though.
Yeah, and then I did.
It sounds
like,
worse that
DC.
you're living out of your car when you just say, like, I'm living out of my car than when you're like, I'm really traveling, and that's kind
Yeah.
of why I'm living out of my car.
Exactly. I respect it.
I do.
I really do.
Where do you sleep, though, as far as parking? That's
Yeah.
my...
Yeah, I want to hear
Sure.
about the first night you're in the car.
Yeah.
Where do you sleep? The
Because you
part
can't
that,
just park anywhere and stay there overnight.
You can. I mean, well, I don't know. They say Walmart you can sleep.
24-hour place.
Yeah, and they say Walmart encourages that. You know, and which is
Interesting.
interesting to me. I don't know. I think that's where a lot of truck drivers go.
They,
And a lot of
probably
people,
do
yeah.
encourage maybe some, like the people who have something to do with their business. Like, if
Yeah.
you're going to have to sleep somewhere, just stay in our parking lot.
Yeah.
And then
don't sleep in our store. Get out in the parking lot.
Yeah,
I've seen videos of people who do that, but anyway.
Yeah.
yeah.
So Walmart, like, are you? Do you go on like Reddit or like look up like the hot spots?
Yeah,
to park?
Reddit has good information on there.
You
They
don't want to
do-
go somewhere
yeah,
where
yeah.
the guy pulling up next to you is like
Yeah,
the parking rides.
right. Exactly. Yeah,
You gotta
yeah.
do it safe.
Although there are like garages too that you can go to, and
That's
like
money.
it's a
Garages.
little.
Oh,
Well, not all of them.
garage.
Not always. Not all of them charge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some of them are free garages
really?
somewhere. Yeah, like some places. And then there's gyms that are 24 hours. That's okay. And then there's hotels.
The hotels.
Yeah.
I would think the easiest, just from my job, and if you ever need to park and, kill some time, like if you're, because you have like X amount of stores and, you got to do your 8-hour day. During the day, it's easy. You could just sit in the parking lot and basically stay there for hours without anybody even thinking twice about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you slept during the day, your life would be easier.
Right.
And traveled.
And travel at night.
And traveled,
Yeah.
not necessarily all night, but like you pick and choose your times a little differently.
You live like a raccoon. You just have to become nocturnal.
Yeah. Which is what I used to do. I used to drive the night shift.
Yeah.
So I did 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Did you just go home and pass out for hours?
It depended, but I was so used to that schedule, so I would just go to bed and like wake up around noon.
Okay.
So get like 6-7 hours. Wake
You
up
just
noon, 1 or
have
2.
no use for a regular life.
I've lived irregularly for quite some time, I guess. I
Yeah.
mean, like I have realized that like now it's like, oh, I guess I've kind of avoided a lot of like real life stuff.
You really have. I mean, you work in the
Yeah.
night shift at a cab, and now you're
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna, live in the car
Yeah.
and travel.
He's
Right.
a car guy like me.
Yeah, he's a chick. Is a,
I know nothing about cars.
No,
No, neither do I.
Neither
I don't
do
mean
I.
a car guy. Like I
yeah.
know. So
yeah.
because I live at home and I smoke tons of pot, I can't smoke
I
in
see.
my house.
Yes.
So I hang out and watch TV in my car.
Oh,
outside.
okay.
In the winter in the cold. Now I'm in the backyard. 'Cause
Oh,
I got a
okay.
big screen back there and it's nice.
We
But
got a big screen in the backyard.
yeah, we got a nice TV
Wow,
in the
okay.
backyard.
Things are
We're
nice.
doing all right over there.
Thanks, all right.
And
Park in his
Wow.
driveway.
Yeah, maybe I'll park over there. Yeah.
be honest with you. You can park in my court whenever if you ever need a spot to
Oh,
sleep
alright.
and you're looking, come in my court and I'll make sure no one bothers
Your
you.
court.
My
I
court.
live in a court.
You live in a court. Okay.
And there's always a spot, usually.
What
and
town
no
are
one's
you
going to
in?
say
He's
anything.
in Farmington.
We'll talk about it all.
I'm sorry. I don't want. All right.
Chick's gonna get a new neighbor.
Yeah.
Do you smoke pot, Will?
Sometimes I do.
So there
Even
you go.
better. Now I got
Yeah.
a friend for life.
Okay.
He doesn't, but he's like, all right, if it's gonna give me a free parking spot.
You mean I get to park in a neighborhood and just hang out?
Right.
Yeah. So Chick is known to like, he watches TV. That's his big or
Yeah,
Netflix.
I am
you
a
like TV.
huge TV guy.
Oh,
So
okay.
I watch everything.
So he'll sit in the car till like 6 in the
instead
morning
of,
and
like,
pass out.
I will sit in my car from like 8
Yeah.
at night till late,
Yeah.
and watching TV, just chain smoking
you
cigarettes
work?
and pot. Yeah, I work a regular job.
Oh, you work 9 to 5?
7 to 3. 8 hours. I get
Oh,
up
yeah,
early.
yeah, yeah.
I don't sleep. I go to bed late. I wake up early.
You wait. So you go to bed at 6 a.m. Wake up for 7
I don't go to
a.m..
bed at 6.
No,
I'm not-
Oh.
yeah, no, I go to bed. Listen, I have, but
Sometimes he'll go to bed. Yeah, like
that's on a weekend. I can stay up to 4:35. Like
Okay.
that's what I do. Like I'm up late, but during the week, the latest I ever want to be up is 2, and I try not to do that.
Okay.
oftentimes get texts from you at like 3:34 in the morning.
But that's not weekday. I'm never that. I can honestly say is never a week.
It's
Pay
not a
attention
week.
to the days. That's not a weekday.
I'll pay attention to the days. I'll pay attention to the days.
Not that late, unless I wake up to have to take a shit or something, and I'm just on my phone, and I'll text you. I'll text anybody anytime. I don't believe in
He doesn't believe in.
Don't
sleep.
answer your phone if you don't.
No, I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like most people don't have it where it's gonna wake them up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just have I don't sleep. I sleep about 4 hours a night. So I'm up for about 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
Miraculously, because I
I know.
smoke a lot of pot at night.
And that's why he's so sharp and quick-witted. I guess that adds to it.
Yes.
Oh
so,
man.
but I enjoy or not that I say enjoy the car. I just don't mind the car.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't. But you've fallen asleep in your car before plenty of times.
I fell asleep with my car door half open because I was trying to get out to go.
On the way
I
out.
wanted to get out, and I was so tired that night, and I just passed out.
Oh my God.
Literally with the door open. And my
That's a
foot,
health
like,
issue.
out.
Wow.
I think
That's
a health
probably a
issue.
whole other issue.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So yeah, so where do you sleep inside of the car?
In the back seat.
In the back seat.
Oh,
So
you lay out across the back.
Yes.
do you ever think about like taking seats out, making it like a more
Making it
room?
like a real thing, like
Yeah.
a real. Well, I have a lot of stuff in the trunk. Like that's where I keep like a lot my clothes.
Yeah, he's gotta have
Yeah,
storage.
you're
and
right.
some canned food.
You have canned food?
Have some canned
Would
food.
you ever? No, hey, listen,
Yeah,
you gotta,
yeah.
Did
You
you ever
gotta eat.
think about getting a like a? I guess you have to pay for that. You might as well get a place, but like a storage, like a unit, just to keep some of your stuff. That's. I guess the only issue with that is if you're not in that place for too long.
Well, the other thing I try to do, I try to be really minimalist. I've been trying to like really like limit down everything. I don't
Like
have many
living on-
things.
yeah,
I don't have a lot of stuff. I don't know what even like I would have.
Yeah, you wouldn't
Yeah.
have much to store.
Are you
Yeah.
a bumper sticker guy?
You know, I started to get some bumper stickers, but I
made you
don't-
say
yeah,
that?
that's a
Because
good
honestly,
question.
the other day I was
That's
watching, I was
hilarious.
looking at it, and no judgment, but I'm like, what are people putting all these bumper stickers? But now, if I lived a nomad lifestyle and I wanted to remember everywhere I went,
You'd have
Yeah.
you'd
and I
have
lived
bumpers-
in my car, I might use that as like, this is my fucking decorations.
What like
Like you never saw back of somebody's
No,
car
I
that's
have.
filled.
I have.
But usually they're not filled with like the ones that are filled with places, like the initials of the place you went to. Are more understandable.
that's
But then you get those
interesting,
nut jobs who just have every band they liked, from 1980 to 2020.
Yeah.
And a bunch of dumb phrases. Like you've never seen this big.
I have.
Oh, all right.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking what prompted you to just ask him if he's a bumper sticker guy.
Well, because
and then
he's-
Will's like, I'm getting into it. He's like,
Travels
"What, you guys
so
meet
much,
outside?"
and he lives out of his car. I was thinking, where do some people like a memoriam of where they've been? So you use the back of your car.
Yeah,
and it's like I've been to Vermont. Let me get the black with the white VT on
Yeah.
it and pop it on the back.
No, I get
That's
it.
a
I
good
get it.
idea.
So you're in. So now you're becoming a bumper sticker guy.
I was
Chip
thi- I-
finally figured.
I figured him out.
He's on top of you. He's on
Yeah,
the ball, guys.
I was thinking about that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was. Another thing I was thinking of that they have this thing called Wrapify. Do you know about this?
No.
They wrap your car and they pay you to drive around a minimal amount.
See,
Dude,
They
and be like
wrap
a
you- they wrap
I've
it
seen
like
that.
a
Martin
Petco.
guy.
Yeah. And they pay you like $400 a month.
I would do that, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't even
Yeah,
think twice
you're like a
about it.
slow NASCAR driver.
Yeah,
Like,
Exactly.
That's what it
right.
is.
But I'm saying, as I'm driving around from
Technically,
state
I
to
would-
You have to
state,
put on X amount of miles to do it.
yes, but I'm
know
probably
it.
doing that.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
Really?
Because I'm going back and forth to the
Dude,
city.
I would probably
to
do that at work.
That's amazing.
I wonder if my job would be annoyed if I was pulling up in a fucking like
Yeah.
a
Petco.
Petco fucking car, but I'm selling fucking my drink.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm double working. I'm double dipping
You doubled that. Dude, you should look into that.
because I definitely put the miles on
That'd
that
be
car.
great. And it would just be
Oh.
hilarious.
Hilarious.
It'd be hilarious to
What
see you.
is Chicolo repping this week?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Have you ever considered living in a storage unit?
I have.
I knew you would.
That's so funny. The first improv class I took, I was doing so much comedy in New York for the first time, and I was like trying to figure out how to make this work without like spending too much money. And that was suggested to me: get a storage unit and a gym membership, and pay like $200 a month as opposed to whatever.
Yeah, but when you die and live, you can't live in a storage unit.
People do it, I think.
What do you mean?
don't
You
think
talking
they
about a
allow it in the
pod?
city.
You talking about a pod?
I don't
or
think they
storage?
allow it anywhere.
Wait,
They
you
don't
think
allow
Are you talking about a pod that you buy and it gets delivered somewhere? Or are you talking about literally a storage unit, like that you go to a
Like
place?
you go to a place.
How does
That's what I
oxygen
was
pump
thinking.
through there? Do they like?
Oh,
There's no
oxygen-
windows in those things. I figured you would suffocate.
No, oxygen definitely goes through there.
Yeah,
Where does it leave?
There's no ceiling, so if
Oh, they're
upstairs,
not?
yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
Upstairs, the ceiling would be like a fence or something like
Yeah.
that. But the thing that I figured out would be the problem was you can't lock it. You can't lock it from the inside.
My only thing is,
Yeah.
is anybody gonna? What are the chances?
Mess with
somebody,
me?
Yeah, like no one thinks that somebody might be living in this pod. If
Yeah.
someone opens up a pod and there's not stuff in there, there's a person.
Right.
You're closing the fucking pod.
Yeah.
That's like the one pod you're not gonna try and go into.
Right.
Because it's the only one that has a personal.
Oh God,
security
this has a
system.
30-year-old man in it.
What is this? They'd be more shocked. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is going on?
Right.
I don't know. I don't think he's worth a lot. He's living in a storage
Can't
unit.
be much in here.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I've always heard about that. Like, people have definitely lived in a storage unit.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know. That's got to be. And I think the storage units are catching on to it now because there's
Dude,
like
the one on 110. I'm saying the ceilings on every one. Like, you can't live in that one.
Oh yeah.
probably not. You got to find the
You
right.
know what public storage? You know the
Listen, man,
building I'm talking about?
Not every apartment is worth living in. You got to find the right
Oh,
one
listen,
that fits
I
your
know
needs.
someone who was doing work on their house.
Yeah.
And they lived in a pod.
They lived in the pod.
So, and they're married, and their wife it wasn't like he didn't have an option. He chose to stay at his house and live in the pod.
What do you mean? What kind of pod? Those
Like
things
a pod that gets parked and placed in front of your house that you store shit in.
and they lived in it.
I don't know. And he rigged it so it got Wi-Fi because those things are like designed to like block out shit like that. So he rigged like a wiring, and I guess he didn't shower much.
Yeah.
He says he showered.
Sure.
We know him, and he didn't shower nowhere near us. What he said, it was like he said a couple times a week. We were like once every other week. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and he lived in there while his house was getting worked on.
Oh my God. How long?
It wasn't like it was a week. It was like I want to say like a month or 2 months.
a
I don't
long
know
time
the
to
exact
live in a
time
pod.
frame, but it was a significant period where it was like, why don't you go where your wife live in the house with your wife or wherever they were living, like the hotel.
Wait,
whatever.
the wife was in a hotel?
Wife is a normal person. She's not going to live in a pod.
Why did he live in the pod?
That's why we were talking about it. Okay, I'm sorry to bring it too far off topic, but
No, this is right on
funny.
time.
No, but I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
like me and Taylor.
Yeah.
Go to one of our friends. I don't know if it was a christening or engagement party, whatever it was, and we're talking to him, our other friend at the time.
I already know who this is.
Yeah, I'm not saying.
I know.
names.
You don't say
I can
names.
say Taylor because me and him are talking.
I
we
know,
went
but
to somebody-
you do this funny
But
thing.
the people who are listening know him, so I don't care.
Right.
I'm just
you
to
bring
the
enough.
masses.
You're like, I'm not going to say names, but I'm going to lead you
Yeah, I'm
every
going to lead a lot
direction
of
to who it
people
was.
around it. So me and Taylor we're outside smoking a cigarette. And we both haven't seen him in a little bit. So we're like,
And then
we were just like, how's things going, bro? Like, what's going on? And he was like, I lived in the pod outside my house. And now we're like, back up. Like, me and Taylor look at each other and we're like, because now we just want to start prying.
Yeah, of
Because we want to
course.
hear this story. And he's like, yeah, we, doing work on the house. And his house looks beautiful. It's not like, he's not
Right.
poor by any means.
Yeah.
Like, kid does well. Smart kid, just a savage of an individual.
Unbelievable.
And he, he's like, yeah, my wife went to, I forget where she went. It was either her family's house or she has another, whatever it was. They had another house, and he could have stayed with her, but he chose to stay in the pod. And he talks it up like, oh, it was awesome. I wired it so I had Wi-Fi, and I would
All
watch.
I can imagine is he doesn't want to be
So
around his wife.
me and Taylor are just looking at each other, and the whole time we're like, how much did you shower? And he goes, oh, every day. I'm like, no, you didn't, dude. He's like, every other day. We're like, we look at each other again, and we're like, we look back at him, we're like, come on, bro. You didn't shower that much. And he's just like, dude, fuck you guys. Like, once or twice a week. We're like,
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe
and
it.
now we all know about it, so we bust his balls, and he's always like, it was only a week. It wasn't a week. It was like a month.
All right. Hey, listen, the guy didn't shower.
But he doesn't. You know what? This guy could also. Like,
Good for him.
If you left me in the woods, I would die. He would build a house, and
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Certain
So
people are like that.
certain people.
We're
are
not
just,
like that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Will, I don't know
not-
where you stand, but we're not tough men.
Well, no, I'm not either. But that's why it's like I wouldn't want to camp.
Right.
Like wildlife.
his car.
Wildlife
Yeah.
freaks me out.
Wildlife would freak me
no,
out, too.
I'm not about that.
That's-
You're
Yeah.
not visiting state parks. You're
No.
visiting cities.
I'm visiting cities.
Yeah,
I'm in
see.
I'm in areas that I feel comfortable in. Like, you know, I would like to go to parks, but I'd probably stay in my car because I mean, like, you know, I hear
Or
about
you walk
bears
through
and
the
I
park
don't
one
want to.
day and you go back to your car at night.
Yeah. Like I went to the the public garden in Boston. You know
Yeah.
that place?
No, I don't.
It's like a.
It's like a bullshit Central Park.
You know what I'm talking about,
I think-
right?
I think
yeah,
I do.
it's like a Central Park.
but it's not really. I
It's-
mean, as
that's
far as
the
like
kind of
it's-
park I like.
Yeah, that's
There's
what I
like
was
a little
thinking.
thing of water. There's
But you
know.
can still see all the buildings around
Yes,
it.
exactly. The Cheers bar is right across the street.
I know what.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
I've
just
been
like
there.
it's like Central
I
Park.
know
It's just
exactly. Yep.
Boston.
Yeah.
Everything in Boston compared to New York is smaller.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So what you said that like hotels, nice
Yeah.
hotels, that's the perfect place to park because
Yes.
you don't get bothered. That sounds
Yeah.
like
Because they're big.
yeah,
big.
and people aren't expecting somebody to sleep in the. You
But
know.
no one's looking at if a car's stationed like for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it doesn't stand out as when it's like activities going on. in there.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I know what you mean. So you've never had any close calls?
No.
What's
When-
a close call? Can you please get up and leave?
No. I mean, like somebody trying to like jiggle the door handle.
Oh, trying
I
to
don't
break
even
in.
I feel
Yeah.
like there's so
No.
many cars without
But,
people.
You know,
Why?
even when I was driving the cab, I would like pick up people at the airport. Mm-hmm. And you would wait for like maybe a half hour. So you'd go over to like the hotels nearby the airport and sleep there, and you'd never get bothered.
Huh.
And those weren't the best hotels because usually hotels.
Yeah, they were
near an
kinda
airport-
the
yeah,
airport
yeah.
hotel.
You're talking about the Country Inn, right? All those 3 or 4. that are right off the bat.
Yeah, like the ones you find near an
Sold a lot of paint
airport.
to those.
Did you?
Oh, really?
I worked for Sherwin-Williams for a while.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay, you sold
Not to
paint.
brag.
Oh, I sold paint.
Door to door?
No. I managed a store until they took me out in cuffs.
What colors you like? You like? I got red. I got green.
Open up my fucking trench coat.
Yeah.
I got
Swatches.
Imagine being a door-to-door paint salesman.
That's
Yeah.
a tough gig. Forcing people to
swatch it.
paint their house.
Yeah.
I'm noticing your color looks a little faded. Have you looked at Sherwin-Williams' new color? Oh God, that's great. One other thing I want to ask you about when you were driving the cab.
Yeah.
Does it bother you more that we care more about your cab and living in the car than the comedy?
Oh no, it's more entertaining.
I mean, it's entertaining.
Yeah.
Any, like you said, we were good customers.
Yeah.
Any close calls in the cab? Any problems?
To being robbed? Is that what you're talking about, or
Bad
just
in general?
well,
like
it was all
any
bad.
trouble?
I mean, well,
Anything that sticks out in your mind?
yeah. I mean, one time. I mean, well, for this is gonna sound so. I did it for a long time.
Yeah.
So, like, whatever job you have, the things that keep coming up on a weekly basis start to drill at you. So it doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but I worked the night shift, so there was a lot of drunken passengers,
Yeah.
and sure enough, there would always be an altercation or some sort of disagreement about Taco Bell. They would want to stop at Taco Bell. I couldn't stop at Taco Bell because there was this, you would wind up online for like an hour.
It'd be a
yeah.
long line.
That's
at
like
Taco
money
Bell.
just going
Yeah,
spent.
and the people who would get in and want their Taco Bell, they wouldn't take no lightly, and they would really get up in your face about it. They would like really,
Take me to Taco
yeah,
Bell,
exactly.
bro.
I'll pay you to do it. And it's like it's not about that. I really have to be on the and it would be like the name calling and
Oh my
like
God.
a lot of like
of
it was
course.
pretty
Hungry
brutal.
drunks.
Hungry
Yeah.
drunks are the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only and then the only time I felt scared was one time somebody did put something up against my head and said, "Give me your money," and I was like, and I said, "Oh shit!" Out loud, I said, "Oh shit!" I was just like, "This is it. This is it," and he started laughing, and it was his
sick joke.
cell phone. It was his cell phone, and he was trying to
Oh my God. That's a fun.
Just get a rise out of you.
Just get a rise out of me.
What's up?
Yeah.
Scares the shit out of you.
And he was very quiet in
Why
the
didn't
car.
he get into comedy? That guy sounds like fun.
That guy's name was Brian Regan.
You know what I think though? Yellow cabs should have a divider. City ones do.
Yeah, that's the thing that was so weird about it. Is it was just like these old cars. They were paying over them. They didn't put any work into them, and it was
They
just
didn't
like,
make them cabs.
They didn't make them into taxi cabs.
Yeah.
And
me-
then when Uber came out, it was like, oh, you know exactly who you're picking up. There's accountability. It's like,
Well, that's
oh,
the thing.
yeah.
Uber expects that people care about their names and like you said, accountability for God forbid something happens in that car. Mm-hmm. So that's where they get you to behave. Like
Right.
Yeah.
a yellow cab, fucking free for all. I mean, we used to
Yeah.
tell cabs. I don't know if you were guilty of it. Everybody, for the most part, has done it. Again, I never really drove. I mostly drove, so I didn't really do it. But you tell them to park by the woods, and you all just jet and not fucking.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
That,
Have you-
that
have you-
happened a
that's
lot
happened to you?
with kids.
Do you
yeah.
chase or just like fuck?
Sometimes I tried, but it was like, what's the point? I mean, like
The visual of you getting out of a cab and chasing kids to me is hilarious.
I know, yeah. But I didn't at first. At first, I was so
You
mellow
rat
about
bastard.
it in the beginning, and then like after a year of it, I was like so amped up. I was like,
yeah.
I can't believe this is happening to me.
my
You know,
God.
these.
We used
kids.
to have like certain addresses, and it's like if they go to this address,
close
enough.
just run into fucking Bethpage
Yeah.
State Parkway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one
that-
guy had me drive him to Howard Beach.
Oh,
It was
no.
an $85 ride. He says, "Hang on, I want to get my brother to give you a good tip." I'm outside for 25 minutes. I'm like, "What do I do?" And they just said, I told the dispatcher, I'm like, "I don't think this guy's coming back." And he's like, "It ain't your night, kid." That's what he said to me. Because it was
That's such a dispatcher
Yeah,
from New York
yeah.
thing to say.
It ain't your night, kid.
It ain't your night, kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he didn't. Did he pay for the cab?
No, nothing.
So nothing.
Nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's why I never understood why cabs didn't have a set. Like, if you know the addresses beforehand, here's the price. Make them pay when they get in. It's the only thing where I
right,
feel
yeah.
like you could have done.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And
I guess the
sometimes-
only
yeah.
issue with that is if the cab gets cut short, then it's on the cab driver. But again, you should have the power.
I guess.
Well, that's another good thing about Uber, and it's like it's all digital. You're
Yeah.
getting paid no matter what.
Yeah.
You're never going to get shorted on a cab.
Yeah.
So
Jesus
Yeah.
But that, like,
Yeah.
my whole thing with Uber is like they literally. I mean, listen, I get it. It was smart, but like I remember kids who I know a kid who used to from Farmingdale. I don't even want to say it. And made business cards for himself. To me, he's the first Uber driver
Yeah.
because I guess not Uber. He's the first. He started his own like. Get this thing around the bars. Have
Yeah.
people who need rides call me, and he would give everybody rides home from the bars, and he would make money off of it.
Right.
I did that for all my friends for free, like an idiot. Or occasionally you get.
Can you
thrown
imagine
money
where
here
you'd
and
be
there.
if you charged your friends?
Some of them pay. Whatever, man. What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be. It wasn't that much money in the grand
No,
scheme of
it-
things.
it's not.
It wouldn't have been anything life changing, but
You would have spent it already.
he was the first one that like did the Uber.
yeah.
I feel like.
Oh, Uber just came too convenient for you not to.
But I was
use it,
always
you know?
pro yellow cabs because like they really
I know.
did nothing wrong, and
He-
they just
he
got
was.
put out of business.
Well, they're still there. I mean,
But who uses it? Why would you use a yellow cab and go into some filthy fucking cab when I can go into
Because-
somebody's personal car?
because now sometimes the Uber prices are insane. Because there's not a lot of drivers that whatever it just seems. I once called for an Uber to go 7 minutes away and it was $41. And I was like, that's insane.
Wouldn't you think
Yeah.
get a cab that way? Like call a cab and go old school on them?
I just waited it out and then it
See,
came down.
you don't even throw the cab any money. The guy who treated
Here's
you
the-
so
here's-
well for all those
here's my
years,
problem with the yellow
Why don't
cab.
you ever throw them a bone?
Here's my problem. Because they have this ridiculous charge of crossing town lines or something like that.
Who cares? It's one of those things where it's like, you know
So
what?
it could be more expensive than like the $8 Uber.
I get it, but sometimes you got to think about the other guy and not your wallet.
What do you think
and
about
just
the
take
other
care
guy?
of the yellow cab.
I wasn't
cab
working
guy.
with him anymore.
I
Yeah.
never, but not even. But I've been pro cab before.
Let
I
me
knew
tell you
Will.
something.
I didn't even know Will when I was pro yellow.
I put in
cab.
my time with the yellow cab guys. All right. Well,
I
you
just
could,
yeah,
you
but
could
you
have.
forgot about them.
I did. They're done to me. So did Will. Will forgot about them too. And
Did
he
they
worked
not
with
take you better? Like, does the you know what my issue from a
them.
yellow
He's still
cab?
trying to go make me use a yellow cab.
I
again.
just want you to use a yellow cab once.
Maybe I'll do it once.
and take a picture like old school.
Yeah,
Throwing it back.
going old school.
I think the drivers are better off too. Honestly, there was a lot of shady politics going on with the yellow cab, and a lot of them were
you're talking about
really
with the big corporations.
no, right here. I mean, they
yeah.
were like the dispatcher can really run you. Right, like there was a lot of stuff. A lot of like drivers were complaining of
they
like
weren't getting
somebody's
the routes.
getting somebody's
Well, not
getting
the
the
big money ones,
rides.
they're
Yeah,
getting the big ones.
who's getting the big rides, who's not getting the big rides. It's like with any job, really. But I mean, like at least with Uber, you're in charge of your own ship.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about that kind of stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
Do you think Uber's better for the economy than the employment of the yellow cab drivers? Do you think there's much more people doing Uber than there are yellow cab drivers? That's probably an easy yes, right?
I
you
would
imagine?
assume.
Or you don't think that's as much as you think?
We didn't get paid though.
What?
We didn't get. They never paid us.
What do you mean?
You would get what you made during
No,
the
but
course
that's
of
my
the
point. I'm
night.
saying, do you think there are more yellow cabs?
Oh wait. So like if
There was no base pay.
but they get a certain percentage of.
Yes.
Why else would a cab driver get out and chase a kid if he didn't get most of that money? If it
You're
was
right.
the companies.
Yeah.
Most people don't give a fuck about the company. You think I'm going to chase kids
Yeah, right.
for a company that, you know what I mean? Like, fuck that.
So how would that work then? So all right, I'm going here to there. It's $12.
Yeah.
I pay you.
It's like 70-30.
Yeah, 50. Well, no. It was better than that. It was like 50-50.
At the end of the night, you take like. How do you know what they?
They were
divide it
the
in half.
dispatchers
So
keeping
that's on
track.
you to divide that half. Okay.
No.
The
Dispatchers keeping
do it.
track. They do
So
the
they're
math at
like-
the
Meter
end of the
runs. It
night.
keeps track.
Yeah.
Right, but
No,
it's
no.
not.
There's no meter. There's no meter.
There's no meters in
no.
yellow
Not,
cabs?
not for so the yellow cabs in Long Island are not really like yellow cabs like
But
in
they don't
the
even
city.
have meters. I figured they all had a
It was like all
meter.
cash only. So
Oh, I
like
didn't
at
realize
the
that.
end of the day, like so the dispatcher's like, all right, so you did the X amount of drives,
Yeah.
and you owe me this much, and then you keep the rest. Is
I
that
wonder how
it
many
works?
rides got under
and
the
then
table.
and then the tips.
But yeah, the tips.
Quick rides
Yeah.
are easy to do under the table without recording it.
That was another thing that was like I didn't really do that though.
See, you gotta do it, bro. You gotta look out for you.
I know. I know.
You played it by the book.
I did like I didn't really I recorded everything I did. You know,
that I
it was-
get.
That was something that but
You just
I don't
some
blame
things that
anyone.
you don't record.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah, sorry, my.
No, it's,
I felt like there was a silence.
Well, we were waiting for you to be done with your phone.
Oh, sorry. It was my mom.
oh, okay.
Everything good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just yeah, everything's good. There's always something, you know.
Yeah.
So everything's not good.
No. You know what? They're away this week, so every
You have
2
to watch
minutes.
the dogs?
Yeah, no, they bring the dogs with them, but it's like, oh, we have.
Are they in Fire Island?
Yeah.
They didn't get...
All right. So my parents were in Fire Island.
Did they weather out the storm?
They didn't weather out the storm.
Oh, all right.
They were in. This is their week vacation in Fire Island.
Oh.
They went out last week or and right before the storm hit, and then Fire Island got evacuated.
Well, it wasn't mandatory, though, right?
Right, but my dad has a boat,
So he boated it back.
so they were like, I think they were thinking like, all right, well,
Is it better to man that kind of storm on the boat almost? Like, if you know the boat isn't
not
gonna
my
tip-
dad manning a
Oh,
boat.
okay.
My dad.
Okay. Fair
I
enough.
mean, lucky to get across the
Not-
bay, but.
It's not Captain...
No, he's much better, but he's gotten to man the boat better.
I heard parking a boat is very hard.
Yeah, because imagine parking a car, but there's no like.
There's no brake, really.
Yeah, you're
It's a
just like
glide.
you're like "Rrr," like you could just go into something.
Yeah, I heard. I did hear that when you buy a boat, parking it is extremely hard to pick up.
The first 2 or 3 years my parents had this boat, I thought they were gonna have a
Well,
heart
I know a
attack.
family that bought a boat and they were having trouble, and it's like,
It is-
apparently it's to the point where they can only go out with one of them because he's the only one who's like good at parking the boat.
Yeah.
and you don't want to ding up yours and other ones, so it's like I don't even want to deal with it. So you wait for the one who can
because
park it.
and it's a lot of pressure because you pull into a full.
Because you don't
dock.
want to hit somebody else. All
Yes.
these things are expensive.
It's like if you were to park your car, but you have no like brake, and you're like
There's a
you just
strong
gotta
possibility I'm
yeah,
gonna hit every-
and the wind could and you're gonna hit the Corolla next to you over here, the BMW. It's nerve wracking.
I believe it. No,
So-
I'm not downplaying, like making fun of it. I've heard
Watching,
that.
my parents would get like they would kiss the ground when they got when they were able to park and come in, and it's like watching my mom trying to pull ropes and my dad, like, it was insane.
I would pay to see them to bring a boat in.
One time, did I ever tell you so? I used to have a blind dog.
Really?
Yeah, little schnauzer went blind.
Oh.
Yeah, it was sad. So this is in the beginning. They have the boat, and there's so much hassle trying to get this stupid boat in, and they're super stressed. And then they're getting bags out of the boat, and as they're doing that, they just heard. And the dog walked off the dock.
Oh, no.
Like, the dog was blind.
He walked the plank. He just
He's like, I can't deal with the stress.
He can't deal with it anymore. That's it.
So my dad popped in and scooped her right back up. Oh my god, it's amazing. They every weekend they were like, we're selling the boat. We got to sell the boat. Well,
that's what I heard. It's frustrating to the point where it makes you not want it. You don't even enjoy it because all you're worried about is parking the damn
And then
thing.
you realize, sometimes now they have the boat docked out in Fire Island. So sometimes when I go out there, I'll visit them and have drinks on the boat during a sunset. It's nice.
Can you ride that? Can you drive that boat and park it?
No. I'll drive it when it's out into the.
You never tried, you never learned how to park it?
I have no desire.
Yeah, but shouldn't you learn? Shouldn't there be a second person on board that can park this?
What, in case somebody?
You never know. I just
guess.
feel like
in that case, listen.
To me, when water's involved and it's not just an accident that we're worried about, it's a whole family drowning. You should have more than one person who could operate.
It's not like they're deep sea fishing. They're going from
but in the middle of nothing, what? You could, I mean, come on, B.
If there was an emergency, what you do is
not go out on the boat.
No. If it's a 20-minute over the bay, they're not going anywhere but straight over.
I understand.
If there was a point where my dad has a heart attack or whatever happens, then the boat is going to crash somewhere because
you just crash landing it. Is what your whole thing is.
I guess my mom would shut it off.
And that, to my point, is the issue why there should be. And I'm not saying it should be your mom, or I just feel like.
Listen, if it gets to the point where my dad is unoperable,
I would almost.
They're not coming in and easing into the dock. You still
got to park the thing.
There's a phone call made. No, it doesn't. If he's passed
so they
out,
just leave the boat there.
If he's passed out,
so they just leave the boat.
You
there.
call 911 and they pick you up. My mom's not running in with my dad.
But what are they going to do with the boat?
I don't know.
They don't leave it there. Somebody's got to take it back.
I guess they would take it back.
They'll tow it back.
If there was an emergency situation, you're talking about an emergency situation.
I just wish that you, I feel like if my father had a boat and we had it for how long of your life?
Maybe 10 years.
I feel like I would know how to walk the boat.
I
could be wrong.
I'm on it twice a year, so it's
not you're missing the point.
No,
do you get what I'm saying though? Like if you had it 10 years,
I get it, but
Dad, teach me how to ride the boat. Like you never.
I know how to ride. I know how to do it.
Park the boat. Take the boat.
Park the boat takes.
Because wouldn't you want to be able to take that boat?
I would love to. Did you not hear the first part? It took my dad 3 years to learn how to park.
That's why you learn.
I'm doing it every weekend. I'm not doing it once a summer.
Hopefully you
It'll
pick it up a little
20
quicker.
years.
Hopefully you pick it up a little quicker. It doesn't take everybody that long.
I'm not out there boating. So
I know another buddy of mine who uses the boat and gets laid all the time because he can ride his boat.
I'm sure.
You don't even think like that. This is like the whole point.
I think that way. I just don't have the time to learn.
Oh, I hate you don't have the time. You're not the busiest man in the world.
Okay. I don't. It takes. Check. You.
I don't have a boat. If I did, I would learn one.
No, you wouldn't. Trust me.
I would.
It's difficult to park a boat. He has these ridiculous things. It's like. Would you live on a boat?
I would live on a boat. I
prefer the boat life.
I like small bodies of water.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of that.
You live on a bay.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I went to my friend's grandparents' house, and they lived right by a lake, and they had a little boat and stuff. And I was like, I could live like this.
Oh,
I wish Long Island had more lakes.
I wish so too. Yeah,
you know,
lakes are nice.
Well, that's what Pennsylvania's good with. They got a lot.
That's
of
where
lakes.
it was.
Yeah,
that's where it was.
Oh, was it?
Popack is like my heaven. I love that place.
Yeah.
Lake Wally, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been there in years.
Been
Almost
a
pre-COVID. It's crazy. It's sad.
Yeah.
But he has like a beautiful house out there.
Oh yeah.
Well, his family does, and we go out there.
Yeah,
we go out there all the time. I haven't been out there in a while.
Yeah, it's been over
COVID,
a
like,
couple years, I guess.
During
right?
COVID, they went there, but I was kind of not wanting to be around like in one house with 25 people. So like,
Of course, yeah.
and now it's like now they're all married. Like it's just like
Yeah.
I think those party days are probably over.
Probably coming to an end.
Although they're probably over,
Yeah.
they probably have like events, but they're not going to be the shit shows that they were.
Yeah, not as fun as they used to be.
No.
But all right, I think we're getting to the an hour, right? I don't even know.
I haven't looked.
I
I'm
don't
trying
even-
to wrap it up.
I feel like we're.
I want to do my picks.
Oh, yeah, of course. So that's
right.
why I'm getting there. Now, Will, do you have any shows coming up? Anything to promote?
Yeah. Well,
What do you got? What do you got happening?
When does this come out?
This will be out tomorrow.
Oh, it'll be out tomorrow.
Hopefully tomorrow. The person who's going to be releasing it right now is overseas, so we send it to him. You're almost dead on.
Yeah, I know.
And we send it to him, and usually he has it out the next day, but we can't really speak for him. So
Yeah.
the latest it would be out would be 2 days from now.
Yeah, it should be out tomorrow.
On August 31st,
Yes.
I'm on the Clout Chasers
Ooh,
show.
that sounds fun.
Yeah. Let me see where that is. I know that's somewhere. I think it's in Queens. Clout Chasers, which is at Heart of Gold in Astoria.
Nice.
And then in September, I'll be in the North Carolina Comedy Festival in Greensboro,
I
North
love
Carolina.
that.
Yeah.
All right, so if you're in Carolina, go out and see that in Queens. I'm in Canoba in Huntington on Thursday.
Nice.
I don't know. I think it's like a wine bar, I want to say. I
Oh,
don't know.
yeah.
But that's right in Huntington. So 8 o'clock Thursday. And then I don't know if I promoted the Neil Rubenstein show on here. Did I?
I think we mentioned it. I don't know if we had any dates, so we might as well.
September 1st. If you've listened to the show for any extended amount of time, you know Neil Rubenstein is a good friend of the show.
And he's probably been the most attended guest.
He's been on the show more than most people. Yeah, I think you're right. He's moving to Oklahoma City, and he will be back for one night only.
Wasn't it somewhere else?
He was looking towards like the Carolinas. Actually,
That's what I thought. And that's
Yeah.
from Oklahoma City.
And then
yeah.
City, they swooped into the last minute and signed him.
That's what I wanted to bring up before. Is once you go comedy and you take it on the road,
Yeah.
chances are you're going to find a place like Neil did and move.
Right. Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like that was what I wanted to like. Usually the end point in something like that is I've been to so many. This place sticks out. I want to stay here, and you stay there.
I think that's what happened with Neil, because Neil's been on the road for months now.
Oh, wow.
Just same sort of thing, crashing at friends' houses wherever he can get a spot, and just doing spots around the country.
Yeah.
And he's done with Long Island. Doesn't want to come back here. And Oklahoma City was the place.
Wow.
And they got a great scene out there. So yeah, he's going to be out there.
That's
but he's going to be back on Long Island for one night, September 1st. It's his goodbye show. I'm going to be hosting. It's going to be a hell of a show.
I would like to try and get him on here before he goes away.
I'm trying, but
I just try. I'm not saying we can guarantee it, but
we're going to try to get him
it.
on to say goodbye. But he's looking to be in and out.
Oh, I know.
He's coming in and
I would
leaving
hope
the
that he
next
could
day.
make
You would
for an
think he'd have
hour with
time
us.
for us.
An hour.
Maybe we'll get him some Red Bull.
I have 4 cans.
There we
in
go.
My house.
There we go. So so I'll be promoting that until that happens. September 1st, Amityville Music Hall.
All right.
You got some picks for us, buddy?
I got a few good picks.
I'm
One of them was
excited.
is a
Chicks picks.
a buzzer beater.
A buzzer beater.
I watched it last night. I was kind of dozing off, so I watched it again after work today before I came in. I actually rented it too, so it's gonna be tough for people to find. I found it on Apple, and I had to rent $7, I think, to rent it, but it's getting released. I think soon. It's called Last Man Standing, and it is another documentary about the Biggie and Tupac cases. But the big difference
You
between
can't
this
get enough
one,
of these.
I can't get enough of these. One, Tupac was my favorite of all time. And I just, you know me, I love all the mysteries, and I know a lot about this particular case because I've seen so much about it.
He went to Vegas and
no
visited
way.
Tupac's death scene.
You did.
Yeah, he's
That
very
wasn't why
into.
I went there, but I
Oh,
wanted.
okay.
It was
Okay.
on my list of things to do in Vegas.
Check. And is there like a memorial?
No,
or
no, it's got
there's
no
nothing?
respect there.
There's nothing.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Did you
He just-
check out
I
the possible
expected
ways?
something.
Like, did you see like the different places the shooter could be and like try to investigate?
No, I wasn't investigating.
Put on a blazer.
It was literally like one of those
the
things where
bottom
I
of the
got
thing.
there and I'm like, all right, I took
All right.
a picture of the street name, Koval, and fucking left.
Because if you go to Dallas, there's like they'll
Well,
take
Dallas
you up to
is
the.
more of a conspiracy. This was, everyone knows who shot him, and they know where they
Yeah.
drove off.
Who? They know who?
Well,
they know who
They
shot
know-
Tupac.
not- well, they do, yes, they do.
Oh.
But it's never enough evidence. Serious, it's all over these things.
Oh, but
Who
they
is
know.
it?
It's the guy he beat up in Vegas, Orlando Anderson and Keefe D.
Okay.
But anyway, the two Crips, if you really...
That's a pretty definitive.
It was a
statement
gang-
You're
it was-
making.
they-
let's not get
Listen,
gang
yeah,
related.
allegedly.
Smoke this for you.
allegedly.
You go and beat somebody up in the middle of the...
All right.
There's a lot of evidence for it,
The adult
too.
babies does not promote gang violence.
No, we don't. But either way...
Allegedly.
There's
Yeah.
a new documentary, and it's from
say
one
that.
of the guys that did one of the big ones earlier.
Okay.
I forget the name of the original one he did. And it's kind of like a follow-up to everything. And they show a lot of different archival footage that they've never showed and interviews with people who haven't spoken on the original ones because they were probably scared of other people who
Gotcha.
are all dead and in jail now.
Yeah.
So it was a lot different, and there was a lot of new shit that even another buddy of mine who's heavily into it, who I sent the links and I sent them some videos of it, was like, "Oh shit!" Like you might,
Interesting. All right.
So
What
it was
is that
interesting.
called?
It's called Last Man Standing,
Last Man Standing.
and I found it on Apple. I paid, I think it was like $6. So I normally don't pay for any sort of entertainment.
But
like
Biggie and
this,
Tupac,
but,
you-
there's certain things that I see it, I
Yep.
do it. The other one is a series on Netflix that just came out. It's called The Defeated. Takes place in 1945 Germany, right at the end of the war, when it gets divided into a Russian sector, an American, a French, and a British sector.
Okay.
And and an American cop goes there to try and find his brother who went AWOL at the end of the movie. And he starts working with a police
True.
force.
This is not a true story.
Not a true story, but I think shit kind of like this. And
Based
as far
on-
as where it was like, it was just based around true events, but nothing about the story was true.
Okay.
And he goes there to find his brother who went AWOL. And he winds up, because he was a cop, he works with the police force that's in Germany.
Okay.
And now these are all Germans who are not allowed to carry weapons because at the end of the war, we banned all Germans
Wow,
from being
yeah.
able to carry weapons. So it's just about, and there's a murder that happens there, and then he gets caught up looking for his brother while this other murder investigation's going on.
All right.
Very good, though. A lot of Nazi killing. It's good.
A lot of Nazi killing.
A lot of
Okay.
Nazi killing. It's really Russia, us and Russia, and but it was really good.
What is that on?
It's on Netflix. Called
Netflix.
The Defeated.
The Defeated. All right.
Last one is which one? Oh, Untold Deal with the Devil. I never even actually. I don't. Do you know Christy Martin?
No.
Never heard of her?
Doesn't maybe.
See, neither did I.
Maybe I know the story.
And that's what I was like. I feel like I remember her, but I don't remember her because I think when we got older, she was old, like on the tail end. So we watched her get her ass kicked. But she was a female boxer who basically was the catalyst for like women's boxing. And if she was this friggin' white girl who just knocked people out.
Okay.
And like one of her first cards that like blew her up was she was an undercard for a Tyson event, and they got fight of the night because it was like going blow for blow hard.
And she was fighting women.
Yeah, fighting women, and she got booed. Her and this other girl got booed coming in, and then they got like cheered going out,
Yeah.
and that like she kind of started getting a decent amount of fights.
Okay.
And then when she got older, she fought Muhammad Ali's daughter. I forget her first name.
Layla.
Layla Ali, and got fucking embarrassed. Like,
Really?
got the shit kicked out of her.
Yeah.
But
Whatever happened
she
to
was
Layla
much
Ali?
big. I don't know. Female boxing isn't that big, but you know she was one of the first.
Right.
And yeah, and then
All
she
right.
was almost murdered by her husband.
Oh.
That was like the big kicker at the
Jeez.
end. And
You
the
could have
big-
saved that for me to watch
No,
it.
it's not a
Is it a documentary?
Yeah, it's not it's a truth. Like it's not a.
I didn't know that. I would have. That's a spoiler.
But they
alert.
don't even spoil it. Like that the husband's in jail the whole time he's in.
Oh, all
getting
right,
interviewed.
all right. I'll give you a pass.
He's in his whatever
Orange
blues
suit.
that he's wearing. Not
Orange
even orange,
blues.
like a blue suit. But
So
he's
they
in
caught
jail.
him. They caught him.
Oh yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was He didn't even really deny it. He just tried to play like self-defense.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, he stabbed her, and like it was fucking ridiculous.
Jeez.
But
All
it's
right.
just a crazy story.
All right.
And
I
that's
saw
part
that.
of the Malice in the Palace,
Yes,
the Untold.
yes. This
That
is
was
the
the
next.
one after that.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, Will, thank you for coming on. As customary, we bring we
Oh.
give you a gift.
No
so
way.
use that out on the road wherever
this
you
is
will.
great. Thank
You'll probably
you.
piss in that cup when you're somewhere on a.
You
in
know
the
what?
back
I
of a
hope you
hotel.
do.
We didn't even get into the urination, but
Because
I
I
do do
did
that.
some of those questions we don't need to know, and I like.
Do you
to
piss in bottles?
I use on occasion when I like
You have a
don't
toilet seat cover
when
that
there's
you
no
use?
place to go. I'll use a toilet seat.
No, I'm being dead. You laugh.
I do laugh.
I'll take a cardboard box and put a toilet seat cover over there, and I'll just try to
being
use my.
sarcastic or no?
That's
Oh, okay.
sarcastic. No, I'll use a empty coffee cup, and I'll use that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I know. So I don't even want to tell you. It's a family member of mine who
Oh.
no longer really we don't really talk to him too much. We don't. He's not. But he.
see what your behavior
Always
breeds.
problematic.
I love that. I could talk to this guy about his life and just things related like
Yeah.
for hours. But anyway, he used to carry a toilet seat cover with him because he always had to if he ate, he had to go shit. So that's why.
Where
I
was he
asked.
walking?
It was just you never know when you need it when you're in the car. And the only reason why I could say I get it.
But it was just the cover.
Well, it's something to sit on. That's how you go into a shitty fucking thing. You could probably place it. I've never seen it. This is just a secondhand story that I heard he used to walk around with it, but I think it was just something to go over.
So he's putting a toilet seat cover over a toilet seat.
Yeah, it's I would imagine
Oh,
so.
okay.
Or if he had to do it on the side of the road, he makeshift toilets. He had a toilet seat
Interesting.
cover. Which,
Listen.
if you ever had to go in some public bathrooms, they are fucking gross. Some
Hey.
are fucking magnificent.
If you wanna learn about toilet etiquette, you look at the adult baby's toilet.
That's right.
How to piss in a public restroom.
That
What was
doesn't tell you anything about a really shitty fucking toilet. That is just
well,
no
it
way
gives. We put
it
out.
tells you how to prevent it.
We put out a video early on when we started this podcast. I'm sorry, we were wrapping up, but we're back
It's
into
okay.
it. We put out a video of what was it called? Tips and tricks.
Tips and tricks
Oh.
when you go into a public bathroom, and it was
Yeah.
about putting down a bird's nest so you don't get splashback, and
yeah.
putting it on the seat so you don't. It's like a germ-free.
We spent the day in a public
But
restroom.
we also went exaggerating, and we're putting candles and scent. It was.
Yeah,
It was probably one of I don't get embarrassed much or really
Yeah.
oh, that was one of those things we put out and was just a fail.
Oh, it was terrible.
It wasn't even funny to it just because we did it for fun and we thought it would be a joke, but it got put a lot of time into the editing of it. Maybe it was too much, but where the reaction just didn't.
The reaction, yeah, it didn't.
It just didn't justify the work that we put into it.
Did people comment? Or-
Yeah, we got
Oh,
some,
okay.
but it wasn't
yeah,
it wasn't
nothing
funny
great.
like we had hoped.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
but it was our
Listen,
first.
it was entertaining. It was our
it was our
first.
first and last.
It was first. We haven't done anything close to it.
Maybe we'll try to
We
put out
did
more.
the song where we video singing
Yeah,
the
yeah,
song,
yeah,
and we
yeah.
did the weight thing. But
Well, if you have any ideas for us to do videos, please let us know.
Oh, yeah.
we're willing to do anything.
Reaction videos are big.
You know what, but
I keep telling them that.
Yeah.
and I had the wrestling bars, all that stuff written down, waiting to do it with. you.
Yeah.
Oh, the wrestling.
And we
oh,
had a
wrestling.
reaction
Yeah,
video
well-
to a movie
well-
that we wanted to do. That B was impossible to get going. Me and Ian are gonna do that. Still.
Well, you guys could do that. But the reaction videos, I agree.
Do you know what my favorite reaction videos are? Another shout out to Neil when he eats a sandwich and his whole he just takes a bite and his whole reaction is just I think it's genius.
Yeah.
Because it's
That
you're
was
wondering
me.
what he's going to say, and it just gives a head nod where you can see if he likes it or not.
Yeah. shout out to Neil. I like all of his videos. He's doing blogging from wherever he is now. And
Yeah, you don't even know where he is. Where in the world is Neil Rubenstein?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Rubenstein?
Steen.
Steen.
So, all right, guys, listen. If you made it this far,
It's only an hour. It's not that long. We went a lot longer.
you're right. We have. But Will, thank you so much for coming
Yes.
on. You have an
Thank you.
Instagram.
It was a
that
lot
we
of
can-
fun. Yeah,
Oh,
plug
yeah.
your Instagram,
I'm
Facebook,
on
whatever you got.
Instagram, Twitter, TikTok.
Oh, you TikTok too, dude. I like your TikTok videos.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
You're very good at these videos.
What kind of
what-
TikTok videos do you do?
I don't know. I do like I don't know which ones you saw, but I just like kind of do 2-camera bits and like
They're
stuff.
fun. They're
Yeah.
simple and I
Yeah.
like them.
I'm a big
Yeah.
fan of TikTok.
Me too.
TikTok's
Most of
fun.
these things with social media are good when they first come out until someone figures out how to make it bad, and then it gets
Yeah,
terrible.
Yeah. I think TikTok has a lot of good content.
I
It
think
does.
Yeah.
Instagram and TikTok are the only ones that are kind of staying away from the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Although Instagram's starting to follow suit with Facebook lately.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people the political views are starting to trickle into Instagram, and it's not photos.
So
now it's a lot of memes.
Right.
Memes.
By the way, our buddy Christian Hahn went viral again on TikTok.
Oh my god!
Oh, really?
And then they shut him off. They
shut him down again?
His account is still there, but they shut down the video.
What
Yeah,
did he-
Was it the one? Which one was it? I know it was with
the
the
Taliban when he was.
Oh, really?
Did you see that one?
I didn't. I don't know
Oh
this
my
person.
god, he is one of the funniest people. Which one was it? Because I think he did a couple of them.
It was the one I forget. He was doing like the. I don't know. I don't even remember what video it
'Cause
was.
the kid is fucking. He never. It's hysterical.
He never stops.
But it's good. It's just
Yeah.
like. Was it the rap? Was he rapping?
No,
in this
he
one
was
or
like
no?
I'm thinking. I can't think of the name. I don't want.
All I'm thinking of is him wearing that fucking outfit.
Yeah.
And I died right off the bat as soon as I seen him
It was
wearing
with the
it.
Taliban. I think. What is he? I can't think of the name. My brain isn't clicking. But it was a fantastic video. I think it's still on his Instagram, so you check
I'll
that out.
find it.
So your Instagram is what?
Will Purpura. Just
Will
my
Pur-
name.
I know. Every time we get to it, we go. This is.
And we talk about somebody else.
Oh no.
No, this
Yeah.
is this is the Adult Babies podcast.
We don't
No.
end shows well.
I was
we don't
laughing
know that.
because my handle is just my name.
It's
which
just
is-
your name?
It's
No.
just my name.
But you know what? As a
Yeah.
comedian, I feel
That's
like
good.
that's what it should be.
Right? Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
you are the brand.
Well, I was thinking, like some people, like I would like to come up with a pun maybe because like puns are fun, but I just went with my name.
I almost
so
would do, if you were going to add anything, it would be like your name, comedy. Like, so people
Yeah.
know you're like
Will the
honestly,
comedian or
Will Purpura,
comedy.
comedy.
Yeah.
Will they break into my car at night? Purpura.
Will they break? Yeah. I'm in danger. Will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will I shit in the Adult Baby's mug? Purpura.
You shit
There
in
you go.
coffee mugs?
No, I don't shit. I don't. No, I find places.
Public restrooms.
Yes.
Not
I
until you
find
got the
public-
adult
All the
babies.
nice ones.
Yeah, there's
And
not.
we-
Yeah.
where I work in convenience, like I go to convenience stores, so all those, so I know the good
Yeah.
bathrooms on Long Island.
Those are the bad ones. Convenience stores are bad. Usually.
Gas stations are terrible.
Gas stations are terrible.
7-Elevens, you would think. One,
They
they're
don't even
being-
have like an
No.
open.
They don't let anybody because they say anyone who tells you now that their bathroom's out of order, it's COVID. They don't want anybody
Yeah,
else in
yeah,
their
yeah.
bathroom.
That should be illegal.
Well,
To
I
not have
also
a
don't
bathroom.
think a public place should be mandatory to have a bathroom for the public
Yeah.
because I don't. How many places of business let the public shit in their bathroom?
I don't know. I think if you're
If you're a station,
yeah.
if you're in my opinion, if your location doesn't regard you to stay there for more than 20 minutes,
That's fair.
You should
Yeah.
not. You should not be obligated.
Yes.
To have a bathroom.
I
Right.
think that's fair.
Yeah,
Like,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Any on the go place, it shouldn't be like you shouldn't get mad when they tell you no. Now, me as a vendor, if a guy tells me no, I kind of be like, I'm helping. Like, I'm technically an employee with you,
Right. Yeah.
and they still turn us down. Some of them are like ridiculous, but you find the good ones.
Yeah.
But I hate the places where they're like it's not a public. There was when I worked in my retail store, a paint store. We only had one bath. It wasn't a. It was an employee bathroom.
Right.
And people just assumed like, oh, let me
They
use your
can
bathroom.
use it.
Why are you coming to the paint store to go to the bathroom? Because
Yeah.
you know it's an employee bathroom and the public doesn't use it, and it's only being used by a couple people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck that. I hate public assumption of bathrooms.
Yeah.
Go home.
We got him. We got him fired up.
I like restaurants. Restaurants and gas stations. Gas
Restaurant-
stations are on the move for people driving.
Well,
get it.
I have run into like a couple of food places where you sit down to eat, but there's no bathroom.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm just like, this.
How is that
can't-
possible?
This can't be right. Yeah. Yeah.
That to me, like,
That's
if you're
insane.
a food place,
That
you
is-
should have to have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should. Yeah.
God forbid.
Yeah.
You're filling up. You're letting out.
Yeah,
If you're filling up, there should be a let out station.
and coffee.
Exactly.
Coffee places.
Yeah.
There's some coffee places. There's some.
I'm on the
Starbucks in
fence
city.
with
Well,
coffee because most coffee, like Dunkin' Donuts, shouldn't be obligated to have a bathroom for you.
but they got food too.
But that's a stop.
You could
and go.
sit down.
It's a stop. Dunkin' Donuts. It's not a gas station where you stop when you're on a drought. To make like gas stations and restaurants, and I'll put groceries like big markets where you're in there for a while.
I think if they have seating, then
Seating.
Seating justifies sitting down for more
Dunkin'
than 20
Donuts
minutes.
has
Because they're- yeah.
seating.
Have you ever went to a 7-Eleven that's got a stationary
Well, that- no,
section?
No, they don't. But they should. No,
I mean, listen, some of these places might. Some of the
should do it.
You walk into like stationary stores and they have people who like live in these places, and you're like, "What are you doing?"
Right.
But anyway,
Yeah.
we made it this far.
This has been a fun episode.
It
Bill.
was. You cut off the show tonight, and I'm not mad at you. I want to phrase this right because I'm not like usually it tends to run itself out,
I feel like it did.
but I felt like it didn't. That's why I was like, we had plenty.
We had more questions about where Will.
Well, his lifestyle
uses
could lead to a lot of different avenues.
Oh, I know. Well, you're always welcome. You're one of the.
Yeah, you got to come back.
I feel like Will is one of those guests where he's always allowed back.
Yes.
You know, come on.
You're more than welcome to come back.
Anytime
and
you're
discuss
living
this.
in the neighborhood,
Yeah.
come on up.
Yeah, thank
or
you.
living in
Yeah.
my court, you know?
Yeah, you guys exchange addresses
Exchange
afterwards.
info.
Yeah.
My court's going to be like, who let this guy in here?
Yeah.
My buddy.
That's my buddy. He's living here.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it has.
I didn't mean to cut it short. I feel like I'm not,
feel bad
I'm not
about
gonna
it. It's a cat's
I'm not
out.
going to apologize. Guys, I'm B. This is Chick. And Will Purpura, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
We
you.
are the Adult Babies.
We are out.